morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. Welcome to Internet Uncapped. And first and foremost, I'd like to give a shout out to all my crack whores and all my dinosaurs. And Evan, take it away.
Internet Uncapped, or as Scary Movie would have called it, ServiceNet Uncapped. Very interesting little reference there. We'll get to that in a second. But yes, we are reviewing today the new Scary Movie, and basically, after 13 years, the Wayans brothers have returned to their property, taking it from essentially the Weinstein Company after a dispute. I want to say 2001 or two, something like that.
Yep, 2001 was the last time that they worked on the movie. So it's
Right.
actually been 25 years since the last
It's
time,
been
but
25.
13
Right. It's been
since
25
they
years, and then there was Scary Movie 3, 4, and of course the
5.
abysmal number 5, which I have not seen, but I
Mhm.
probably will not be seeing it. But in any case, a cult classic of comedy spoof movies. Basically, the premise of a Scary Movie is basically that the Ghostface killer has returned, and he is back with a vengeance. He is also gunning. He's gunning for the original cast of Scary Movie, and there are also introductions to various characters that are kind of the legacy characters, and there's a lot of in and out, meta jokes and fourth wall references and all kinds of references and whatever, all the usual things you would expect out of Scary Movie or any of those other spoof comedies adjacent to the original two writers, whose names elude me. But yeah, so that's the main premise of Scary Movie. We saw it just the other day as of this recording. But Mitchell, I would like to hear your thoughts on Scary Movie.
So I was born 96.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And the household that I lived in, my mom is the oldest of 4.
Mm-hmm.
So my youngest uncle, this was crazy for him because he was in high school. So since he was in high school, this was like the rave. Like this was the movie, the very first two. So he watched it, and even though I wasn't supposed to watch it, I did see it. So I was exposed to the first two movies very, very young. I didn't really get a lot of the jokes. I didn't understand a lot of things, but I did rewatch it before the start of this new one.
Yes.
So I got some of the references. I understood how the older movies ended, etc.
Mm-hmm.
Now, my overall thoughts of this new one, it's back to form. It's back to form, with some cultural references that we'll talk about later as the movie goes on. Or sorry, as we talk about the movie, there was so much funny stuff in this movie, and again, the Scary Movie is not just about being funny and spoofing on current horror movies within the genre. It is also about spoofing on society and spoofing on pop culture at the time. That is what Scary Movie and all these movies, as a matter of fact, are all about. It's all about these different things. You want a scary movie or any parody movie to talk about cultural references. You want you want your characters connected to the real life in a way, and that's what this movie offered. Which, the other ones just got more ridiculous, and it kind of just didn't make any sense. I've never seen 5. I've seen 3. I've seen 4, and they're still pretty good, but not as good as the originals. The originals are the best.
Yeah.
And this one is great too, and we'll talk about it as we continue. So yeah, that's my overall thought. I think this is on par with the first 2.
Okay, so. And a little bit of my background, which is that the first Scary Movie that I was exposed to, I was not 5 or 6 years old the way you were. I did not see any of them in the theater. Okay, couldn't fathom it. But there were a few movies here and there that I definitely was a little too young to see, and that was just by accident. It wasn't, and it was just whatever. Spider-Man, Men in Black. Oh,
Sorry about that. My phone just went off.
oh, no problem. No, it's okay. Stuff like that. But Scary Movie 3 was the first one that I really was the most familiar with. And then recently, like you stated, I also caught up with Scary Movie and Scary Movie 2, which I do think is the gold standard for the franchise, especially the first one in my opinion. But certainly, nostalgia, I appreciated 3 just because it was my first. 4, I haven't really watched, so stay tuned. And 5, I don't know if I'm gonna fucking touch that shit. I have no idea.
Yeah,
Um,
I feel like I might just watch it just to be like, okay, I
I've
got to
seen
see
it.
what's up.
Yeah, I've
Yeah,
seen
just to
it.
kind of be like, okay, I need to know
Yeah,
what happened.
exactly. But by the time I was old enough to see those movies, I did see Meet the Spartans. I did see
Oh
superhero
yeah.
movie. I did see, some of them. And so, it definitely, I knew that with this one, I did know exactly what I was getting myself into, right? I knew by and large, this
Mhm,
was a niche kind of comedy that everybody knows is bad. Like, pretty much in its form, in its execution, in its ridiculousness and its raunchiness and all the whole 9 yards. We all know that a lot of these movies are bad. But the barometer is different depending on, your tastes, your preferences, everything. Because obviously comedy is subjective. Now,
yes.
here is where this movie comes in. I thought that there were some amazing, and I mean really, really excellently well realized gags and jokes. Very much on par with a recent comedy that came out, The Naked Gun,
Hmm.
which was also crazy, goofy, silly, ridiculous. The Scary Movie franchise owes a lot to the Zucker brothers and Jim Abrams for Airplane, for Naked Gun, for all those ones. It's in that sort of same tradition, basically.
Hmm.
Um, when the jokes hit, when there were some really clever Easter eggs, and just I was like, this is really good. Like, what are people complaining about? Like, I could see it. Like, it's right in front of me. But obviously, I am a fan of those movies, so it hits a little different compared to most other people, and whatever.
Exactly.
Then there was the part that I had a hard time with in terms of my overall thinking, because I do really like a lot of parts of this movie. The problem with part of the movie is that it like barrages you. It punches you in the face multiple times with references, multiple times with at bottom of the barrel, very surface level, lowest common denominator jokes that
Mm,
I think other comedy movies do a better job, especially jokes that kind of like lean into the plot and like try to guide you along with the story. At parts, it kind of plodded along a little bit, and you kind of saw a series of mostly vignettes and comedy bits more so than an overall story. Now, again, I say this, but this is Scary Movie we're talking about. This is not a high quality product. You have to know what you're getting yourself into, right? But it's just to say that it's, again, I had a very tough time pinning down my exact thoughts, because I'm holding kind of two truths in my hands. I laughed a lot, and the really great jokes were really great,
hmm.
but I'm like, this is not. I've seen better. I've seen better comedies this year. I've
So
seen better
this is
comedies. Hold on, hold on. I'll finish up my thought and I'll let you talk. I finished, Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie, in my personal opinion, one of the best comedies that I've seen this year. There is a part, and I won't say which part which part, but we are going to do some spoilers in a minute. There's a part that I actually reminded me of one scene from that movie, and I realized, I'm like, they did it better. They did it so much better. But then there were other parts where it was very clever, and there was visually some very interesting stuff, and all that. So it wasn't to say that I was disappointed in this movie. I really, really appreciated what was funny. At the exact same time, I just know what a better and also, this is the last thing. Yes, I understand that we're trying to be topical. We're trying to be whatever, but do we need the Gen Z bashing? Do we really need to be like, oh, damn, fuck damn kids, fuck damn kids? I don't know. No, like maybe we do. I just don't think
Yes,
that we should do it in the way that they did it in this movie. I'm just saying. But anyway, Mitchell, go ahead.
they 100% should have. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and bring up a couple of your points. One,
Okay.
scary movie has always been about two things:
Mm-hmm.
making fun of the horror movies, like I said, and two, culture. In Scary Movie 2, they do a whole scene where they're all dribbling a basketball. Does that have to do anything with horror? No, it had to do with like basketball commercials at the time, where it
Right.
was just them like squeaking with the shoes and then dribbling. That was it.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it was like it went on for like a solid 2, 3, maybe 5 minutes, I would say max. And the joke kind of ran its course. But that's the whole point. That's the whole point. And the Gen Z bashing, it was 100% necessary. They needed to do that because what they're trying to do, again, comedy is subjective. And in this day
Yeah.
and age where you have everyone saying, oh, I don't like that, I'm offended. Oh, I don't like that, that's this. I don't like that, that's that. I love the fact that they pointed out some hypocrisies in society today, as well as going ahead and being like, yeah, you know what? Let's make some jokes about this. You can make jokes about anything. I feel like personally, you can make jokes about anything as long as it's funny. Go ahead and make a joke.
Oh, I
You know,
agree. I'm
and,
not
and, and
saying that they can't or that they shouldn't. I'm just saying the execution of how they did it did not work for me. That's all.
I think it was fine. I think it was perfect. I think if you have people that go on social media all the time go, okay, boomer. Remember when that was a big trending like
Yeah.
meme
Okay.
online? Everyone
Yeah.
kept saying, okay, boomer. So what did they do in this one? Well, they,
Yeah.
they took
Okay.
some of the characters and they said, okay, this is what we're going to do. So Greg, he had a daughter that then became a transition to a man. I forgot what their name was, but
Oh yeah, it was the son, the transgender son of the one of the jock characters who was like in the friend group originally, and he was
yeah,
a
yeah, yeah.
police officer.
Greg.
Greg. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
now he's a police officer in
And
the
he's a
town.
police officer. Yeah.
So yeah, so you have that right there.
Mm-hmm.
You have like again, he had a daughter that transitioned to being a man. All right, cool, whatever. He ends up getting or she ends up getting stabbed, and when she gets stabbed, what does she say? You punch like a girl, like, and just making
Yeah.
fun of some
No,
of the
that
hypocrisy,
was that was
and I,
great.
and I appreciate
Yeah.
that. And then they
Mm-hmm.
had the daughter of Brenda,
Yeah.
and I forget what her name is too. Like the new characters were really not that memorable, and I appreciated that because I didn't go in there to be like, oh, let me see the new characters. I
Yeah, no, nobody, everybody they knew what they were trying to do. Everybody wanted to see the old cast.
Mhm.
The new cast was making fun of legacy characters in other horror films.
Yeah, exactly, and that's the
And
whole point. Yeah,
specifically Scary Movie, I believe it was 6 and 7. And yes, there is a 6-7 joke in the movie. I'm just saying.
yeah,
Which will absolutely date it, but it doesn't matter, right?
mhm.
Like that's the point. But it's there. Um
Yeah. But so again,
yeah,
back to what I
yeah,
was saying. Like
yeah.
they have all these different people that are in there, and again, they have the daughter of Brenda, and she gets stabbed on the train, and they showed it
Mhm.
in the trailer of her getting stabbed,
Yes.
and then it's like, oh my god, he stabbed her. I use they them. He stabbed them, and then what ends up happening? Everyone takes a chance at stabbing her. So it's the way that they layer everything, like the jokes with societal norms and things of that nature. I genuinely appreciated it. I loved how they did everything. So I'm not going to complain
Yeah, I'm
about the
I'm not
jokes. I think it
yeah,
was funny. I like the Gen Z bashing. Keep
right.
it going, baby.
Right. That's the thing is I want to be so clear it hurts that I liked what I really liked, but what I didn't like fell flat for me. And that's the problem. It's like
I
I
I didn't
just
find
wish I
anything
could be
flat.
more positive about it instead of having these two things like rattle in my brain, you know. But listen, I'm a contradiction. I'm a bitch, I'm a lover, all that shit. Whatever the song goes, I don't know. Now, I want to talk about something before we get into our rating and wrap it up. But there's other things we need to talk about. First things first, Mitchell. I need to talk about Doofy for a second.
Yes.
Okay. Now, Doofy at the time was a very controversial character because he was a person with special needs, and he was the parody character of David Arquette's police officer in Scream. Um, Now, in this version,
Mhm.
he is that. He still is that, right? Like, he is, intellectually challenged, but the way that they portray him is that basically the daughter of Cindy and her love interest go to his house to see if that he can help them out with like trying to track the Ghostface killer, because he was the Ghostface killer in the first movie. And
Mhm.
so he's like, I need to. Is COVID out there? I need to do tests on you, and then the freaking things go in their nose, and they're
Yeah.
like, "Ah," and whatever. Okay, so he is a recluse. He doesn't know that COVID has like long sort of passed, and there's no pandemic anymore. He opens a closet door, and there are cans of meat in the closet.
No,
Mitchell,
they
who
weren't.
does that?
They
What?
weren't in the closet.
Oh, well, where?
They were on the stairs.
Oh, on the stairs. Excuse me. I'm trying to figure this out. Stairs, closet, it's the same thing. He's a recluse. He's in this tiny little house.
Mhm.
Mitchell, who else do we know of that eats out of cans?
Big ups to Cyrax,
Cyrax, yes. Now,
Mr. Poopy Pants,
that's right.
Mr. Oh God.
Oh God. Now, I severely, that they know that the Wayans know who Cyrax is. However, I think it's kind of incredible that they tapped into something that maybe not a lot of people were willing to touch or talk about. And the fact that someone as exclusive as him would be having like these eating out of these cans would translate to someone out there like Cyrax. It was just, there are the oh, and of course Mitchell, when they do go into the hospital to try and get the sister Tuesday, Doofy does go off against the Ghostface killer and does shit his pants. This does
Mhm.
happen.
Just like Cyrax.
Just like Cyrax. Kind
Loved
of
it.
fucking wild. Now, there's another reference. That
To
made me,
another beloved lol cow.
yeah, of another beloved lol cow, but very unintentional. Now, Brenda has a party at her house, and she, and her daughter, before she gets killed, sort of hosts it and whatever. Now, Brenda has an idea where she is serving jello shots that have grain alcohol in them. And if you've been watching our Mind's Eye coverage, you would remember that DSP said when the main character went to his friend's house, he looked inside the liquor cabinet and goes, "Oh, I think you should be getting out the grain alcohol. We'll make it a party." And it's like, and the fact I saw that she mentioned grain alcohol, I'm like, yo, no way.
Yeah, I love that. I love the obscure. I totally forgot about that. But what's funny is that was your very first DSP live stream that you ever watched, which makes it
Yes,
even better.
it
So
was. Yes, it was. And I didn't even, you know what? I think I did see that. I think I did see that live now that I think about it, because it was the very beginning. And then he
yeah,
gets into the main area or whatever. But yes,
it's
no, because
it's before
yeah,
it's before the very first mission even starts. Like you
right,
you
yes,
drive to the building, you walk around a little bit, and
right.
then you drive back to your friend's place, and then after that he starts having hallucinations and all this other nonsense. But that's well, not hallucinations. Yeah, not
Well, it
well,
was a
like
little bit of
flashbacks. It was like
hallucinating, yeah.
PTSD, like something like that.
And he goes
But
to his
yeah,
friend's house to try to like calm down,
yeah,
and then he's looking
he's
at the
staying
freaking
there.
liquor cabinet.
Yeah. Again.
So, but
What a
anyway, yeah,
time.
but it was so. And then there's another thing which I'm not gonna mention what. However, if you get to the scene where it's a tribute to sinners, and Ray goes into the church, and he's confronted by his dad, played by Deanne Cole. All I will say is watch that scene, listen to what he says very carefully. It is very gay, and I will leave it at that. That's all I will say. I will leave it at that. Um, but yeah, I mean, I think maybe if I were to do a rewatch of this movie, I do think that part of my thought process might actually solidify, because I'm still like I'm processing this movie in a weird way.
Mhm.
Because again, it's not to say I dislike it, but it's to say that I'm kind of trying to accurately um depict the kind of product that I watched.
Mhm.
So it's a hard thing to pin down. It's a hard thing to pin down. So I will give my rating. It is not the way that any of you are going to think about it. And so my rating, this is the first time we've ever done this. I will have a bit of an asterisk to my rating, but it will be as it is as of current. It could change. If it does change, I will put it out on Letterboxd, and that'll reflect my actual rating. But for now, it is what it is. So we're gonna wrap this up right now. I am going to just pull it up. We're gonna pull up the poster for Scary Movie, and we're gonna give our rating right now. So, we can get, thank you, Mitchell. In our rating system, what would you give Scary Movie?
I give it 4 stars. Really good. Let's go.
Really good. Okay. All right. And again, this is subject to change. So just like
Not for
Scary
me.
Movie, this will date very, very quickly. But I am at the moment, I am just gonna give it a mid with the asterisks that I laughed a lot when it worked, and when it didn't work, wasn't great. So it's not mid, not really. But when it wasn't mid, I did laugh a lot, and I had a very excellent time with it, as you should for a Scary Movie, especially if you are a fan of this franchise. So that's really all there is to it. So thank you all for joining us for this movie review. We will be doing more. This summer is going to be banger after banger after banger after banger. It's going to be a really interesting year. It's going to be a really interesting season. Look forward to also having actually, so I'll just mention this. So we are going to have a second channel, and I am going to tease just a little bit of what we are going to do on the second channel. We may be moving the movie reviews on the second channel. We may be doing some movie discussion on the second channel. We also may be doing some video game related content. We may do sports content. We may be doing other different types of content that are not usually on the main channel. And I think that'll be good just to expand our reach and try to reach new audiences the way that our main channel would not be able to at this very moment. I hope someday, maybe when we're big enough, that we can, do that. But I think having a second channel will help us out a lot. So, at the moment, I am actually gonna probably, you know what? We will make an official announcement when the time comes. We're not quite there yet, but I just wanted to give a bit of a tease, just so everyone will get a taste of what we're thinking about. So, in the meantime, be sure to hit like, subscribe, leave a comment down below. Watch Scary Movie if you want to. Let us know what you thought of Scary Movie in the comment section. And until next time, we will see you in the next one. Goodbye, everybody.